Welcome, welcome, welcome to On Friday Inspire. I am your host, Aaliyah. Hey, great evening to you, everybody. As you are chiming in, do me a favor, hit that share button, y'all. We have an awesome topic tonight. Awesome guest speaker. Before we do that, I want you to hit that share button. I'm going to thank our sponsors for tonight. And y'all know our topic, y'all, is finding your voice in 2022. And I've had so many people reach out to me and say, Aaliyah, I know what God is calling me to do, but I'm stuck. So y'all, we have the communication coach here. So you are here and she is here. So let's get these questions answered. Listen, chime in, get your paper and your pencil ready, and let's take some notes, right? So while I am sharing the information and thanking our sponsors, you all go ahead and go ahead and hit that share button. And thank you so much for those of you who are Prophetess and Go, all of you all that are tagging people. Thank you. All right, so I want to thank my big brother and pastor, Ricky D. Surratt, who is the author of Leadership Inside Trajectory. If you are an author, if you're a leader, you need to get a copy of this book, y'all. When I tell y'all, this is something that there's spiritual with it, but it's also such a leadership manual in the natural as well. So you want to add this to your arsenal. If you go to iworkfaith.com, you'll be able to get a copy of his book. Also, we have, Franzel, the Bavarian. He's the frog from Bavaria. Yeah. And you want to get that book by Cornelia Brown. That book is an awesome book talking about love and differences. He is from Bavaria and he speaks a different language. He croaks differently. So you want to get that book. I thank God for her and her diversity. That is my sister from another mother, right? Also, if you have not had the opportunity to get my coloring book, don't forget, this I Am Inspirational Adult Coloring Book. Remember that I said self-care is not an option, it's essential. So remember, ladies, as you are coloring in here, this book is reminding you that you can do all things, that you are complete, that you are fearless, right? So there is a message within each and every page. You are reminding, regardless of what people have said or what you may have said to yourself, you are exactly who God has called you to be. And then finally, the journal that was released back in October, you can go get your copy of that. I Am Inspiration and Affirmations Journal. All of these are found on Amazon, but the coloring book is on Walmart.com, Target.com, Barnes and Noble, all the good stuff, right? All right, y'all. So thank you again for joining us. Y'all hit that share button because we're about to get started. We have the communication coach, Dr. Tonia Phanor, on with us tonight. We're going to bring her on and welcome her. And I want you all to be attentive, but I want you all to grab your pens, grab whatever, so that you can take notes from this great wealth of knowledge and wisdom that God has granted her with. So welcome to On Friday Inspire. How you doing this evening, Queen?
I am doing great. Thank you, Aaliyah, for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight.
Oh, it is our pleasure to have you. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like I told people, I don't like reading bios because it put people to sleep. So I want to keep everybody engaged, involved. So tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, I don't know, like where should we start? But definitely, basically communication is my passion since I was a little girl. Growing up in Southern California. I can't see the chat, but I don't know if people put where they're from. Any West Coast people? So yeah, I grew up in Southern California, and I thought that I wanted to use my voice to be a lawyer, because I was very passionate about justice, about giving a voice to the voiceless, about making sure that people were heard. And when I was in college, and I actually had an internship with the Department of Justice in DC. I actually went to DC for a summer, and I was like, I don't think I want to be a lawyer, but I ended up doing work and writing speeches for the Attorney General and helping with press conferences. And I loved the communication aspect of it. And so, went on to graduate school in communication, started teaching for various universities, communication courses. And I just loved empowering people and seeing that, public speaking is one of the number one fears that people have, like more than death. People don't want to speak in front of audiences or even on social media. I have people that are, afraid of posting and doing different things. And so, really, so I was teaching, I've taught at universities for over 20 years. And then I began getting a lot of business owners, speakers, authors contacting me and asking me, could I assist them? And then I just started consulting and training. And that's what I do full time now, is doing trainings for either individuals, companies. That's how we met. I was doing a training for your organization. And, and I just enjoy and love to be able to empower others and help them to share their voice with the world.
That's absolutely awesome. And I like the fact that you said, I wanted to do this. I thought that's what I wanted to do. But when I got to doing that, and there are so many people
Yeah.
that's in that space and in that place. So now you have a lot
Hmm.
of people who are in transition. Can you speak to that
Hmm.
person that's in transition?
I mean, that's everybody. I mean, after the pandemic, I think most people are in transition right now in one way or another. It was definitely a major shift for me personally, and I can relate to it because like I said, I was teaching and I was in academia for over 20 years. I feel like I just never left college. I just transitioned and started working and teaching and thought that that's what I would do, and which you can do. There are many professors that that's what they do for the rest of their life, and it's great security. And I mean, definitely, I feel like I was empowering my students. Many of my students are on media now. They're have their own business. They're doing great things, and that's a legacy that I'm proud to have left. But then I just felt like there was always something more that I was called to do. And everything, kind of shifted during the pandemic, and we were all online, which I had already taught online before. But then I said, you know what, I'm doing this for university. I need to start doing my own online courses, and I need to start working. And I just started, a lot of women business owners started just having a group of women that I met with, and it just started growing and growing, like even during the pandemic. And I just felt like God was like, you know what, that season is time to shift and really focus on this. And so I was already kind of speaking and doing trainings and things on the side. I had written 2 books. I'm working on my third now. And so I was always doing things on the side, but I just felt like it was time to shift. And so I guess my advice to those who are in transition is, within you, like you can feel like that tugging and that would say, like old people used to call unction.
Right.
When God is like shifting you and moving you. And I know last year was crazy and people were just reevaluating everything and they saw priorities. And for me, the work my husband does within Ministries International, and we're kind of, we don't have like a very sedentary, like I need to be able to work from anywhere and to be able to have the flexibility. And so I just, took a leap of faith and left the university and started, and I I'm just so grateful. I mean, God has done exceedingly abundantly more than I could have asked within, a short period of time. And it was just, because you have more time. So I just feel like you should lean into whatever you feel that you're called to do, whether it's a book or writing or speaking. And part of that is finding your voice and, finding what avenue you want your voice to be shared in.
I like that. I'm putting that in the in the chat. Laying into whatever you feel that you're called to do, and I think that's what where the fear factor comes in for so many people because they're like, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to do that, but I don't know what to do. It was like when God first told me that to write On Fire to Inspire the book. Well, my first one was a children's book, so I didn't know anything about that. I was like, "But Lord, I'm a children's author." He was like, So when you get out of your own way and let me show you who you are, then you'll know
Mm-hmm.
who you are. Like so. So what would you say? Or we can shift into the topic itself. However you want to flow. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. What were you about to say? You were saying what? Oh, were you about to ask me one thing,
Um,
or it's fine? But if not,
so
we can.
so the question it kind of escaped me as I was asking,
Okay.
but the question would
Sorry.
be the question would be more on the lines of, a person saying, okay, I need to find my voice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've
Mm-hmm.
listened to everybody else's voice. Now it's time to find my true voice or my now voice, my
Mm-hmm.
voice to where I am in 2022. So,
And I
how do
think, yeah, the first place is to start is realizing you do have a voice. And like you said, you listen to everyone else. You are, maybe a student, and that's a great thing, definitely, to be a student of other people and to see their greatness. But then you have to be able to go within you and find your greatness. And that people, I think people underestimate that, and you, even with mom, business boss, like parenting, that could be, I mean, some people might say, oh, I've only been a stay-at-home mom for 20 years, what do I have to say, who's going to listen to me? People who have kids who need help
right,
on, like you need to find wherever it is that you enjoy or that you're passionate about, or you can look at your life. What are people always coming to you for? What would you do for free? What are you always doing? Or like you could actually get paid for it. But what are you doing, or what are you talking about? Some people, relationships. It could be people always coming to you with relationship situations, and that could be helping people with relationships or sharing about that, sharing about your own. People have powerful stories and testimonies about their marriage, and how they're able to, uh, you know, create their version, of their marriage and how they can help other people. It just depends on, what areas. And I think that people don't think that they have a message or a story, or, what, and really own what their voice is. But to really, and then when you're able to do that, then that's when you're able to begin to think about, okay, who you're called to, because your story, your individual experiences are going to relate directly to your target audience. And so you want to really take the time to evaluate and look at your life. And like, for me, teaching and communication was a consistent thing throughout my entire life. Since I was a little girl, I was teaching my little dolls, had my little chalkboard, had my little doll set up and teaching them. Like, there are things that you have done since you were little that you may not think anything about it. But it could be an avenue for you to share and for you to also create a business and additional income for you. And so thinking about, what it is that you really want, what it is that you are really good at that comes naturally to you, and how you can help others. And even the really hard things that you've been through, that's a good indication too, because and I've one of my clients shared she had been through really a traumatic childhood and abuse, and had kids, really young, and just but all of that is in her book now, and how, and her kids are successful now and graduating college, and she's successful and a business owner. But she's able now to go back and to help, and she's only in her 40s. I mean, not like she's super old, but she is able to help other women to share their story and to realize that you're not disqualified because of your past and because of what you've been through, but that's actually what qualifies you. They say
right.
your test is your testimony, your mess is your message. that, and
Yes.
that actually goes to the next, and then actually developing that message. And I work with people to help them develop that message and really share their unique story and not be afraid to uh, be transparent, and realizing that the it's in those difficult moments and the things you overcome that people will really connect with you and relate to your story. So
You're so right. You said they have to be transparent. So many people minimize what they've been through. It's like, well, everybody's been through that.
mhm, mhm,
No, they haven't, and some of them are still stuck there.
mhm,
You know, and I want
mhm,
to make a quick,
mhm.
quick, quick connect because I forgot to thank MomBizBoss.com. That's Teresa's baby. That's Teresa Wright Johnson's baby. So thank you, Mom Biz Boss. That's one of our
Yes.
longtime sponsors. That's my girl. Um, but yes, what are you called to? What have you been through? Who is, uh, like I said, so many people look at your value, but they don't look at their own value. They're like, well, she's
Mhm,
been coaching for 20 years and she's been teaching for 20 years. But what have you done for the last 20 years
mhm,
that you're an expert at that somebody else might not? They may be still stuck in that space,
mhm.
you know?
And
So,
whether or not you even got paid for it, it could be like I said with mom is about being a mom and
yeah.
working with. I've worked with a lot of the the mom biz bosses, and some of them have children with special needs. That is a very particular niche, and they're able to speak on that. They worked with different situations, but that qualifies them, makes them an expert to help people that really need your help. And thinking that and realizing that there is a problem that you're able to give the solution to for someone else. Like by you sharing your voice, you're giving voice to other people and helping them to make it through their situation. And then they'll be able to share with other people. And it's just like, a ripple effect. And so it's beautiful.
Yes. So you have become the voice for the voiceless, so to speak, right?
Yes.
So the person who says, okay, I hear you. I hear what you say. I have to figure out, know that I have a voice. I hear that you
Mm.
say, I have to figure out what I'm good at. But I have so many things that I'm good at. I don't know which one. So what would you speak to that person? Because I have a couple of friends that may be on here and they are so multifaceted. So how would you
Mhm.
speak to that person so they can find their voice in this time and just hone in on in that area?
I mean, most of us are multifaceted. I mean, me personally, I'm a wife, a mother, I'm actually licensed minister, educator, professor, writer, author, like I know there's different things that we can lean into. And so you have to think, okay, one, what do I most enjoy? Because if you're passionate about it, and you really love it, it's going to come through in everything you do. So don't just start doing something because you say, oh, I can make money with this, or oh, I can, yeah, it should be able to to meet a need and be able to provide income if you want to do this professionally. But really, tapping into, okay, what is a message that I really would like to share with others? What is a way that I really could be of benefit to others? And if you have that prior experience in it, like I said, I was already doing this kind of in another way, in education, but I kind of just basically kind of sharing the same message, just more globally than just in one particular location. And so definitely, you should be passionate about it, thinking about your own story and how you can relate to others in that. And if so, say if it's like, if you have a book, so I work with authors, if you have a book and you want to promote that, then that could be your focus for this season. It doesn't mean that you can't talk about or do other things in the future. It's not like you can. I have a book on relationships. I know it's February, the one we talked. I think I talked to you about that. Yeah, and so that in one season, I definitely, and actually, my husband and I are talking about doing that more, and maybe doing some relationship communication things. But definitely, you have to look at the season you're in and where you are now and what's the priority at this moment in time. Doesn't mean that you can't bring in those other aspects and go into those other things later, but definitely to prioritize, because you don't want to be focused on all those different things at the same time. You can do many different things, but not all at the same time.
Right, right. You talking about burnout real quickly.
Yes.
All right. So, Evangelist Culture said, think about your story. So yes, think about your story. Like you said, and you said on in the session to Mom Biz Bosses, you said, what problem are you being a solution to? You know, if you're that problem
Mm-hmm.
solver. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something that's great for them too, because like one of my Facebook friends, she's a mom of, I want to say six. She's been through
Mm-hmm.
homelessness. She's written several
Mm-hmm.
books, and she went from uneducated until I think now she has doctorate. So, what's your story to help somebody else to see? Okay, I've been here, but you don't have to stay there. You know, to know that there's
Exactly.
something more outside of that box.
Yes, I mean, definitely, it like the greatest tests and the greatest trials that you have definitely help you to uh find your passions, and so sometimes what you could be, so a lot of things, sometimes what you're passionate about. So both me and my husband are passionate about supporting youth and that are fatherless, because both of us lost our fathers at a very young age, and so we understand that. But also for single mothers and different things, though that is not what we do professionally. So that might be your ministry, but you still need to fund the fund the ministry. And so we can still speak and teach and educate to be able. My husband, goes to Haiti and does different work, throughout different places, but we want to have the flexibility to do and go and be wherever God has us to be. And so for me, working in academia and was very secure. I mean, you have a lot of, what, so quote unquote status as a professor or whatever, not the income. I will tell you that. Don't think that, educators are balling like that. It's a lot of prestige and not a lot of pay. And I know what it's like to struggle and not know how, and having more month than money. And, and so I think that going through those things, it was like, you know what, there's more,
Mhm.
and that we can do more. And it's hard. It's hard to step out of, comfort and security to really pursue those things that you're called to do. But at some point you're gonna have to take the leap. And it could be baby steps. Like I was kind of side hustling on the side for many years, not because, and I needed to to supplement my income, doing things on the side and teaching, and also teaching professionally too. But, it's like if I would have just, I don't know, some part of me is like, man, I wish I would have taken the leap even sooner. But I think everything prepares you, and all things work for your good. And just, look at those life lessons and see, okay, what upsets you, and what are you passionate about. And so that's when I thought I was going into law, because I still to this day I'm upset about injustice and upset about, things like that. But you can provide a voice and you can speak on it and you can have influence to be able to make a difference. So though it's not in that particular arena, though I do work within government and doing trainings and speaking and doing different things, it's just, it could be in a different way. And so be open-minded. Don't limit yourself to this one particular little box, that you think that you can only operate in this particular box, that you can't do other things and go outside of what your norm is, which I think everybody had to break break out of that during the pandemic, and I think that shook us all up. So, but yeah, that would be, just one
I
one
love that. I love that when you said a moment ago, be open minded and don't limit yourself. Because sometimes you get so comfortable in that box, and that box can be suffocating, and you're not
Hmm.
even realizing it's
Yes,
suffocating and sucking the life out of you. And so when you're
exactly.
from a small hometown, people get so complacent in that little box. But there's life outside of that. And then
Yeah.
people who go through a divorce after being married for many
Hmm.
years, they just knew that box and they're afraid to
Hmm.
step out of that box. But I promise you, there's life after that. After that, there's even more life
Yeah.
after. I can teach you on that one. Speaking to the choir.
See?
But,
Yeah.
I love that though. Not limiting yourself. Being in that one-sided space just because this
Hmm.
is all you know. But
Hmm.
it's time for us to grow. Not get stuck
Hmm.
in this is all I know. But it's time to grow. There are so many free avenues out here to learn now.
Yes.
So many. Monica said yes. That's right, Monica. Let's do a class on that. Let's do it, prophetess. Honey, hook me, holler at me. We'll make it happen. She and I are in that same category. There is life after divorce. It is. Um, and so there are so many women thriving in it. And I'm not an advocate for it. I believe that in the sanctity of marriage, I believe that God has called it to be what it is. But when you're in that box and it's suffocating you, and you're not what God has called you to be with, then God ain't called you to live like that. You know?
Hmm.
But we're gonna get
Hmm.
off of that. That's a whole nother show by itself. So, all right. So, what are we going to say at that for the people who are note takers? So, we're going to hone in on our note takers, okay? To
Hmm.
make sure that they got all their notes. So, what are the points that we really want to drive home for them? Because they're going to go and review their notes, Dr. Sonia, because they're ready to move. They're ready to get unstuck.
Okay, so I love to organize it and I love to use things to help people remember. And one of my favorite things is alliteration using the same letter. So to break it down and make it real easy, the first thing we talked about is your mindset and really realizing that you are you have a voice to share, that you are a solution to someone's problem, that seeing yourself differently and seeing the impact that you can make. And so your mindset really kind of has to shift, and being open-minded, we talked about that too, and breaking out the box to explore new opportunities. So mindset is a big thing. And then from there, just looking at your life and developing your message, and what message it is that you really, if there's only one thing that you could share with the world. And so this is a little exercise that I've done with before in a workshop. And so if you were to close your eyes and you were speaking, you see the audience, see who you're speaking to, and envision your message. See what is it that you would share with them? Like, what is it that you would say? And really focus in on, okay, what is the main message that I have? You could also talk about different things, but what is the main message I want to share at this moment? And that might be the most relevant right now, looking at our world and looking at the state of various different things. And then after your mindset, your message, and then your motivation, and think of all the people that you can help to be becoming that solution to that problem that they have, and really being able to address the situations and the needs that they have, and being able to meet a need that's in the market for your message. So mindset, message, and motivation.
I love it. Love alliteration. All right. So, y'all note takers, did y'all get that? She said mindset, message, and motivation. And I typed all that in there for the note takers. So I was typing. I'm a note taker.
I'm a teacher.
Yeah, so I have a teaching anointing, although I'm not a teacher, but yeah, I took some notes in there and put it in there for you note takers who missed anything. You may have to go back and listen to the replay, but she did remind you of the things that's needed. It's necessary in order to move and be fruitful in this hour We're just in day one of the second day of this month. I mean, second month of this year, sorry.
Woo!
And
Year. Yeah.
so, can you believe tomorrow is going to be 2/2/22?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes, 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 yes. And so it's time for us to move into the place of elevation. God didn't call us to live out a mediocre life. He said, I didn't call you to be an
Mm-mm.
ordinary when I said that you're supposed to be extraordinary. And so it's time for
Yes, to
some
have
people,
life, to have it more
yes,
abundantly.
and abundantly, yes, an abundant
Yes.
life. And so you sitting there doing this right here. Oh, well, I gotta go make the donuts. God said, I ain't call you to make no donuts. I called you to own the donuts. You know what I'm saying? So it's time for some people to wake up. And it's funny because next
Mhm.
week's topic, and Holy Spirit gave it to me this week. And it's funny, I don't normally get them this
Mhm.
early. But the topic for next week is wake up and live. And so we're coming out with finding your
Mm.
voice this week to wake up and live next week. And so y'all gotta make
Yes.
sure you come back next week on that one. But Dr. Tanya, I'm so grateful that you are sharing this tonight because I've had you don't know how many people, even to the point of calls last night, today, chats where people are in this frame where they needed you today. They needed you today. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. How would they follow you? How do they get in touch with you if they want to book you, if they want to
Yes.
read your books? It's Love Month. You have that book on the one. Come on,
Yeah.
let's do this.
Yeah. So really, really easy. Is Dr. Tonia Phanor on everything. DR. You can see my name, Tonia Phanor, .com is my website. So drtoniaphanor.com, Dr. Tonia Phanor on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, anywhere you want to find me. If you type in my name, definitely, like for those who you said are calling out, reaching out to you, really wanting to learn how to promote their message, their business, and just trying to find the words and the voice for that. If they want a consultation with me, then it's like the first thing that pops up on my website, or message me. Feel free to message me, DM me. Definitely, I respond to all of that. Dr. Tonia Phanor at Gmail. So everything is pretty simple to remember, and definitely love to hear from you. Love to hear your feedback from today too.
Oh, great, great, great. Any final words or any final thoughts?
Just to, it's crazy that you said that that's the next topic, because literally live is my like word for the year. And to just like, that's why I was just saying, like, we that it says, Jesus said, I come that you might have life, and that you might have it more abundantly, not just in the sweet by and by. Like, we are called to live this life with joy and with purpose, and not to waste any moment. I mean, oh my goodness, if we've learned anything from the last 2 years, that, so many people are not here. So if we are here and we are breathing, then we need to live, and we need to make sure that we leave a legacy while we're on this earth, and whether that's through your speaking or your voice, or however, your service to this world, to make a effort to just live your best life and to be of service to other people. Definitely, that would be my closing thoughts.
Great, great, great. Well, thank you again for joining us. If you need me in the future, you know how to get in contact with me because I definitely enjoyed this. And if you want to
I
come
did
back
too.
with us when you finish that book, let us know because we know it's going to be some great stuff.
Yes, it's all on the power of communication. And yes,
Yes,
so I will definitely let you know.
yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we look forward to seeing you again.
Look forward to being back again. Take care.
Okay, thank you. So, guys, if y'all missed any of this dynamic talk with Tanya Fano, you definitely want to come back and go back and listen to the replay because it's time for you to I remember I told you the platform before I even started the platform. One of the things that the Lord said was the message to give you as a person is it's time to stop settling and it's time to stop existing and it's time to start living a life that He's called you to. So no more playing small, no more playing, seconds to anybody when God has called you to be first and foremost. One of the things that I've been talking about in my group of women, the I Am Inspirational group, we've been talking about how are you saying yes to yourself? How are you showing up to yourself? Self-care is not something that's optional. Self-care is essential. It's not saying that you're selfish. No, it's saying I gotta serve me in order to be able to better serve you. And so next week y'all gotta come on back because it's gonna be time to wake up and live. We got a guest coming in. I'm not gonna tell y'all too much because as God was giving it to me, y'all I was working out. Okay, so anyway. That's another way of serving yourself. How are you saying yes to you, right? So thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to mombizboss.com. Thank you to Apostle Ricky D. Surratt with Leadership Inside Trajectory. Thank you to Cornelia Brown with Franzel, the little frog from Bavaria. And I thank y'all for joining us tonight. We will be back, same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next week, right here on Fire to Inspire. I am Aaliyah Butler. I am Aaliyah, your purpose midwife, your biggest cheerleader. I'll see you next week. Have a blessed one.